Do you remember the video I posted about a year ago where my client got pulled over for flashing his lights about a speed trap and then arrested for laughing?
That guy flashing these lights, warning everybody you're sitting there. I'm going after him. And I could take you to jail today for your unsigned registration card, but I just wrote you a citation for that. That's actually up to 6 months in jail. You think it's funny, sir?
There's been a live video circulating regarding a traffic stop that resulted in citations being issued.
I'll take the ticket, sir.
I know, but do you think this is funny?
I'm allowed to laugh. I can laugh all I want.
Go ahead and step out here for me.
I didn't do anything.
Sir, I'm asking you to step out the...
Am I being detained?
Yes, sir, you are. Step out of the vehicle.
Are you serious?
Place your hands behind your back for
Are
me.
you serious?
Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for
Oh,
me.
man, you're serious, brother.
I'm not your brother.
I posted that video about a year ago, but here just last week, I believe, the sheriff of that county just did a live video on Facebook where he addressed that video. Take a look.
Another topic I would like to cover is incidents regarding one of our other deputies, Deputy Ellison.
Oh, by the way, the reason he says the other thing he wanted to talk about is because the actual reason that he was on there doing this live video is because one of his active duty sworn deputies had just been charged federally for possessing child porn on his computer.
There's been a live video circulating regarding a traffic stop that resulted in citations being issued.
That was pretty stupid, wasn't it?
What's that?
Flashing your lights at everybody to let them know that law enforcement was sitting there running radar.
Is that what I did?
During the stop, the individual began laughing at said officer because of flashing lights and trying to warn other drivers of what could have been a high priority investigation.
To put this in context, this laughing by my client is what he's discussing.
All right, sir, there's your stuff back there. And I wrote you 2 citations today. First one being special restrictions on lamps, which you can read that code, and it says no flashing lights shall be on a vehicle. And at that point in time, you had flashing lights on your vehicle. It's unauthorized.
Well, under the Constitution, it's protected in the First Amendment. But I'm going to look into it.
That's in Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to look into it. I'm going
Yeah.
to see about West Virginia.
Yeah.
'Cause it's free speech, you know.
Yeah, it's not illegal to do that, to flash and warn, but it's illegal to high beam, and it is legal to have flashing lights on your vehicle, not being an emergency vehicle.
I'll see.
Huh?
I said, I'll see.
Okay. And I could take you to jail today for your unsigned registration card, but I just wrote you a citation for that. That's actually up to 6 months in jail. You think it's funny, sir?
I'll take the ticket, sir.
I know, but do you think this
I'll
is
take
funny?
this. I'm allowed to laugh. I can laugh all I want.
Okay. Go ahead and step out here for me.
I didn't do anything.
Sir, I'm asking you to step out the...
Am I being detained?
Yes, sir, you are. Step out of the vehicle.
Again, just to put this in context, Deputy Ellison says, I can take you to jail for an unsigned registration card. The guy laughs at that, and that then turns into him being pulled out of his car, put in handcuffs, etc. That's what the sheriff is defending here.
Examples: trying to locate a missing child that's been abducted, murder suspect, someone bringing poison, drugs into our area that possibly get into our child's hands, trying to find an offender running the stoplights. We all know that's a current problem in our area.
And this is just laughable. So his justification for his deputy pulling this guy over for a non-crime, which is actually protected First Amendment activity, warning on oncoming traffic of a speed trap, his justification is that theoretically, if there's a speed trap and people are pulled over for speeding, that is a pretextual excuse to pull people over and see if perhaps they're drug dealers or they are murderers or they may have run a stoplight or whatever. I mean, that is his excuse. And just exactly what does that have to do with retaliating against a guy for laughing about a threat to arrest him over an unsigned registration card?
When someone acts irrational, it is not normal and raises questions for further possible involvement in criminal activity.
And there it is. There is the cop-splaining, as some of you call it. That is the BS excuse that the cops and or their lawyers came up with to find some legal justification for the way this man was treated? Well, he was acting irrationally. I would argue that he was acting completely rationally. He was mistreated by a law enforcement officer at a stop that was an illegal stop. He was threatened with arrest over slightly giggling at a threat to be arrested over an unsigned registration card. He was acting perfectly rational. If irrational behavior is indicative of criminal behavior that requires somebody to be pulled out of their car and placed in handcuffs for evaluation, perhaps that's what he should do to Deputy Ellison.
He was detained for a short period, then released with citations of what the officer believed was a violation.
He was detained for a short period of time. Yeah, okay. I mean, we all saw the video, right? I mean, there was, the first video I did on this had over 1 million views. The second video I did on this, the update video, when the criminal charges were beaten, I think that also has over 1 million views. I mean, we've seen the video.
Are you serious?
Place your hands behind your back for
Are
me.
you serious?
Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me.
Oh man, you're serious, brother.
I'm not your brother.
Believe me, you're not.
Yeah, I'll never be your brother. I'll never be your brother.
Exactly. Now, be careful.
I don't want to be your brother.
Be careful.
Don't jerk away from me, sir.
Just be careful.
Don't jerk away from me.
My wallet is in the car.
Okay, I don't want you to jerk away from me
I was
right
going
there.
away from the traffic.
No, I was putting you in front of my car,
Okay.
which is away from traffic.
You're arresting me for laughing.
No,
I didn't do anything.
I'm arresting you for unsigned registration.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Okay, so stand right there. Hang tight in front of my vehicle for me. Hang tight right here in front of my vehicle for me. I guess I'll see you in court. All right, ticket still stands there. Special restrictions on lamps, unsigned registration card. I gave you till the 23rd of this month to contact the magistrate. Phone number's on your copy there. Once you contact them, they can tell you how to take care of it.
Okay.
All righty, sir. Be safe.
Even setting aside the issues of the bogus charges or the bogus citations, we would have to press stop on the video when he first issues the citations and then skip ahead to where he releases Mr. Scott out of the handcuffs and finishes the conversation as it should have been finished initially, without pulling him out of the car, without handcuffing him, without searching him, without roughing him up a little bit, without lecturing them. Yeah, we can take all that stuff out and it would have been your normal routine traffic stop, and everybody could have contested in court whether or not it's illegal to flash your lights to warn oncoming traffic, which it's not. Here, the sheriff seems to be completely ignoring the entire middle portion of this video.
To further add to the prosecutor believed a violation also occurred, resulting in a hearing where a magistrate convicted and believed one occurred also. The case was then appealed to the circuit court before Judge Callahan, where he overturned the ruling. I will say I believe the wheels of justice was served. And this, folks, is exactly why we have the best justice system in the world. Nowhere else in the world has this type of accountability and freedom. It is not perfect. However, it is very rare that it fails the citizens of this country. I also say as individuals, none of us are perfect. There was only one. Mistakes were made daily and addressed accordingly. As to the officer involved, he has received counseling not only from myself, but my chief and his immediate supervisor. Our office has the utmost respect for our prosecutors, magistrate, and judges. They do an outstanding job for our community. 100% behind them.
And this is our problem in a nutshell. There is a total lack of accountability. You have an unconstitutional stop. You have a man treated very unreasonably and thus unconstitutionally, even assuming it was a valid traffic stop. And then you have public outrage when the people see the video footage. And there's still no accountability. Still no accountability. And so what does the sheriff do? He blames the prosecutor and the judges. And this also illustrates why part of the problem, because the judges are protected by judicial immunity, prosecutors are protected by absolute immunity. So only the police officers are protected by qualified immunity, which is still enough, but they fear nothing. So there's been no discipline because of this, just excuses. Moreover, he appears in this video to be defiant, like it's going to happen again. If only there was a civil rights claim called a Monell claim that could allege that there's an ongoing and existing policy of unconstitutional practices that could be filed against a county in West Virginia. But who is going to pay for this? Who in the end is going to pay for this? That's the taxpayers. People like this, like the sheriff, and I've heard people say that he's a good guy. When it comes to the Second Amendment, they'll be, oh yeah, I'm going to stand up to the federal government, constitutional rights, blah, blah, blah. But what about the Fourth Amendment? Here, this deputy walked all over the Fourth Amendment. And he's saying that he's condoning it. And it sounds like they'll allow it to happen again. Just walk all over the Fourth Amendment. Well, also the First Amendment. You can't support the Second Amendment and then not support the Fourth Amendment and not support the First Amendment. There it is. Thanks for sending me this video. There's my response to it. You know, we could still file a lawsuit here, and we could probably, it sounds like we have a Monell claim there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Should we file a lawsuit over this situation? So you may want to follow along on this. Subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Freedom is scary. People like that need to just learn to deal with it.